and generous introductions. And thank you, TEDxIIMCalcutta, for inviting me to speak to you here today. Actually, I'm very honored to be the last year's Global Teacher Prize winner, but I think I was one of the number of teachers shortlisted all over the world, all of whom who have changed the lives of many students and made a huge contribution to teaching. And I was very pleased to be able to share my prize money with the rest of 9 finalists. But this Global Teacher Prize does not just recognize me. It shines a light on teachers and teaching community, and it encourages people to give the respect to the teachers that they deserve, and to show how good teaching can change lives for the better. Today, I'm here to talk about my teaching, my journey, my experiences, my school, what they have taught me about my professions. So let me just begin by telling a little bit about myself. So some people who grow up to be a teacher, they say that they loved school from the first day. But that wasn't the case to me. Personally, I was not the best behaved student at school. I didn't like being kept inside the classrooms in front of books. I often wanted to go outside and do other things. I also used to ask so many questions to my teachers, but my teachers didn't always like this. And I was never very interested in grades. I was more interested in learning new skills, discovering the rich world that we all are part of it. So from the beginning as a teacher, I wanted to change how teaching was done and improve on what I had experienced in the schools. So when I went to teachers training college, I learned a lot from my two teachers who convinced me that it could be done differently. They showed me how educators could inspire their students and help to shape their better future rather than just focusing on rote learning and grades. So this was a very important lesson that still informs everything I do in my classroom today. My first teaching job, and so far only one, was in Jilla Parishad Primary School, Paritibadi, Maharashtra, state of India. When I first arrived there in 2009, I knew straight away that it could be a challenge because one of my classroom was surrounded between a cattle shed and cows, a storeroom. And in rural India, there are often two types of obstacles to education. The first, lack of resources and facilities. And my new school, who was located between, as I told you, between the cattle shed and storeroom. But the very interesting fact was that nobody was complaining about the status of classrooms. And there I knew straight away that the parents were not aware of educations. They didn't expect that education could change their lives. It's trustworthy to invest in education. The second thing, what exactly the education or the quality education was missing there. It took around 6 months for me to get back my classroom because it has been occupied by very strong politicians, influenced politicians. So it was a struggle to get it back. But during those 6 months, what I did, I surveyed entire village, get some data, collected some data about their educational status, economical status, cultural background of all the villagers who were living in the village. And there I come to know very interesting fact that the women in my village were more literate or educated than the males. And then I decided to take help of all the women in the class in the teaching learning process. After getting the classroom back in my hand, within those 6 months, I made a plan of action for 5 years, where I looked my classroom after 5 years and set up three targets before me. The first was to change the parents' indifference towards education. Second, 100% attendance of each and every student in my classroom. And the third was to give them quality education. So to achieve these targets, whatever the initiatives, whatever the projects I carried out or took just to achieve those targets, and to achieve it, I made a plan of action for 5 years. The first thing what I did, I initially started parents meeting. I started living in Paritewadi, interacted with them, try to understand their mindsets, why they are not interested, why they are not trusting the education. Every day I went to classroom, there was no one. Then I went back to their homes, searching for my students where they are. Most of them were at farm, lending the helping hands to the parents. So every day I was going, visiting their houses, communicating with the parents, requesting them, please do send your kids to classroom, just trust on me. And they keep saying me, no, no, he's a small guy. If he works with us, so he will understand the importance of farming, and this is the only way he can earn his bread and butter. And that was true. And they also giving me some examples of some of the boys or girls who were educated. And look at them, even though after completing education, still they are working at farm. So it means education is waste of time and waste of money. This was their mindsets. But after going and visiting every day, some of them convinced to send their kids in the classrooms. So around 2 or 3% students were coming to my classrooms. But I think that was enough. When how many students were coming, it doesn't matter to me. At least some of them are coming. It means some of the parents are trusting me. So very few kids were coming, but what I was doing in the classrooms, whenever they come into classroom, I bought a new laptop and I was just telling them, now just watch the movies, whatever you like. You like to sing a song, you like dancing, you like watching movies or Marathi serials, whatever you like, tell me, I'll be doing that. So students were very happy. They thought it's just to come here, watch the movie, sing a song, dancing, then eating and going back to school. So no learning was happening, but the students were enjoying. That was very important to me. And when they go back to school, or go back to home, they were sharing what happened in the classroom today with their friends. And they were saying that today we watched this movie. Oh my God, what a fantastic movie that was. I really enjoyed. So those who are not coming to school, it actually catches their attention. Oh, my friend, my colleague is going to classroom in the schools and he's enjoying. And I'm doing what I'm doing here. I'm just working hard. So it's better to go in the classroom and enjoy and then come back. So this is how gradually students coming to schools. So entertainment was playing a huge role to make them to attract their attention toward the schools. So once I ensure that everyone is coming to classrooms, now my role was changed. It should not be just entertainment. Now turn that entertainment into edutainment. So it was a skill of a teacher, how to turn that entertainment into edutainment. So I recorded my small song videos, I recorded my own lessons, and that way I was just sharing with my students. They were watching. Then after that, I was asking them some questions. If they couldn't understand it, then again, I personally giving them more and more new experiences to understand the concept much better. At the same time, to ensure every parent's contribution in the education, I install a alarm on schools building. And the initiative, I called it as alarm on, TV off. So that alarm rings at 7 p.m. every night. So this is what an indication for parents. Now stop working whatever you're doing. Now sit together with your kids and help them to complete their homework. But as I told you earlier, they were completely unaware of education. They didn't know how to help the kids to complete the homework or asking them. So in the afternoon, I was sending us text messages on their mobile devices and telling them, explaining them their role. This is what you are expected to do at night. So this gives them some sort of responsibility. And at the same time, students also started taking ownership of their own learning. So this has gradually helped me to continue to achieve the targets, whatever I set up for myself. I know that it was not easy, whatever the way I'm talking to you. But ultimately, it was a collective efforts of my students, parents, and myself as well. So after that, what I was doing, I was just recording my videos, transferring the data to their mobile devices. This was happening in the classrooms. So make their learning more impactful and give them chance or opportunity to learn anytime, anywhere. I developed a QR coded textbook for them. So it was just, giving them chance just to scan a QR code and access the digital content and learn the concept much better way. If they couldn't understand, I changed the data at the back end. So it was well customized or tailor-made learning experience for my students. And now our schools happen to be the first in the Maharashtra to use such a QR coded textbooks. But since then, this way of teaching has spread far and wide. Following our success, State Education Ministry and then later on HRD Ministry has begun to use them, introducing more flexibility into the whole education system. The QR code feature has now been very important for encouraging girls' educations. Girls' education wasn't taken very seriously in my village and throughout the world, not just India except so there are many reasons for this. Girls are often encouraged to get married at teenagers. Sometimes there is also expectations that girls do not attend the schools during their monthly cycle. This means they are away for a few days. But as a teacher, we have to try to convince parents that girls' education is worthwhile investment. And this is very important for the improvement and empowerment of girls and women. But there are other reasons as well behind this. But I think our aim was to build up the girls' self-confidence, skills, and voices, and then help them to be their own best advocates. The QR coded textbooks has means that even if girls are asked to shoulder some responsibilities at home or kept away from the school for some other reasons, they can still learn because they learn through other media beyond the textbook. They discuss them with their peers, with other students outside the schools, and the girls began to express themselves in a much better way, communicating very clearly. The part of empowering girls also involves making schools a safe place for them. This means educating students about tactical behaviors. This is inappropriate with their classmates. So I have also seen that if we allow girls to make their own choices, they do amazing things. However, this is not this is not to say that there haven't been any challenges, obstacles. Recently, the COVID-19 has caused a lot of problems. Unfortunately, the pandemic is what's creating barriers for girls' education everywhere in the world. Last year alone, it pushed more than 150 million people globally into the extreme poverty. Lack of money and family health troubles means that the school age girls are now having to go out for work to provide for their loved ones. But I think COVID is just one of the things that underlines us how technology is more and more important for education today. Even without pandemic, people needs the freedom to be able to learn at different times of the day in a different ways. So let me say a little bit about how teaching with technology can be a success and why it sometimes fails. Some people today think that if you just throw technology at the problems, they are instantly solved. But that is hardly ever true, even in less often cases in education. In the best cases, technology just makes an idea possible that was previously impossible. And this is why teachers don't have to be tech giants or the tech savvy in order to come up to innovate educational tech ideas. If they have a teaching aim and can think of creative way to achieve it, this is often enough to make a start. Unfortunately, internet connectivity in many places around the world still seems to be at low level, particularly in rural areas of developing economical countries. So when I designed QR coded textbook, I knew there was a one mobile phone in a family, and that was just enough for me because parents could just uh, give the access of mobile to their parents, students for just 1 or 2 hours. However, since then we have done a lot more with the help of technology and other things as well. So I think discussing all these things, my aim is that in the period of COVID-19, or we are going in a very uh, right way. The finally, all the teachers or the teachers are very crucial in the education systems. Teaching method I brought in the Jila Parishad schools were success, but without interest and resources from Indian state and national government, the lesson learned would have remained local. So the governments, schools, NGOs, private limited companies, they need to collaborate, collect data on successful teaching practices, and ensure that the best use is made of success. Looking at the future, we as a global society, we have to realize that we need creative leaders, innovative problem solvers. Whatever the problems, education is the solution. Thank you so much.